When I was 5, I started playing the violin, and my family were involved with a lot of folk arts and folk music festivals. Along with playing classical violin, I also learned to play a lot of different styles of fiddle music. And when I was 13, we were attending a Swedish folk music weekend, and I got to try playing a Nyckelharpa for the first time. Picked it up, and about 15 minutes later I was playing tunes as though I'd been playing it for months. I kind of fell in love with it. It's, you know, part of it was it's, you know, it's got a very unique sound. It's got a, you know, extremely, you know, deep resonation and, you know, a complicated, you know, sound that you can't get with violins or most other string instruments. And to be entirely honest, part of it was I was 13 and it was new and shiny.
Well, my name is Earl Holzman, and I live in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, and I am a Nyckelharpa builder. And that is specifically a luthier who specializes in building Nyckelharpas. The biggest piece of wood in a Nyckelharpa is really only about that long, and then there's this complex key box. I figured this was busy work. So in 2009 I built one Nyckelharpa, and in 2010 I built 2 more, and I'm pestering some of our friends who play about what can I do to make a better instrument, and musicians can't answer that question. So in 2011 I went over to Sweden to spend 2 weeks with Esbjörn Hagmark, who's a master Nyckelharpa builder who teaches workshops. On an airplane back from Sweden, I'm sitting here thinking, you know, I don't think these are that hard to build. I could do this. Right now, as I understand it, I'm the only full-time Nyckelharpa builder in North America. So I'm actually still developing instruments, but I sell instruments all over the country. I've got a couple in Canada, and I actually recently shipped a Nyckelharpa to Moscow, Russia. The one I'm holding here is a 4-rowed soprano. It has 4 rows of keys. So if we hold this up, you can see underneath that there's 4 rows of keys. Each row of keys goes to a string. And the way this kind of works is you've got 4 strings that are played with a bow. And in this case, this is the range of a violin. But just below them on the bridge, if you look in on the edge, you'll see that there's these strings that are set lower on the bridge. The bow never touches those. And there's 12 of them. There's one tune to each note in the full sympathetic scale. So it's... And as you play the instrument, those strings start to hum, and it just fills out the sound of the instrument. And you know, the nice thing about this key box is, you know, unlike a fiddle or a violin, where you have to learn where to place all of your fingers. With this, you hit the right key, you have the right note. Currently in the United States, we think there are about 500 Nyckelharpas. And I would say I think about half of them are being used for Swedish traditional music. But most of what I seem to be tapping into is a market of non-Swedish musicians interested in the instrument.
That's what gives it its really interesting tone. It's a very versatile instrument. You can do just about anything on the Nyckelharpa that you can do on a violin. I have taken it to bluegrass festivals. Got some interesting reactions there. You can use it for just about anything.